Putting a life into a short speech is seemingly impossible. Kyle was always on an adventure and enjoyed every bit of it. When we were kids, we stuck together and roamed the neighborhood all day, fishing in the lake and playing in the woods. Being the only girl, I wasn't always a part of the cool kids group, especially since our neighborhood was mainly full of boys. Kevin and Kyle were always really close brothers and friends, and when we weren't all getting along, they both ganged up on me, which often ended up in a brawl. Kyle always liked being in charge, so it never surprised me when I would hear about a new promotion or responsibility. He took a lot of pride in his work and relationships. He kept up with close friends from different times in his life. He was the kind of friend that years could pass and the bond would still just be as strong. As a brother, he spent countless hours with Luke and Ryan playing, talking about Star Wars and superheroes, and taking them to do things. He was their role model and best friend. As a soldier, Kyle always ensured his fellow soldiers were taken care of. He was trustworthy and loyal and dedicated to the common goal of the group. Kyle's time in the Army was a time of maturity and growth and personal development. His passions throughout life were making money and driving fast cars, both of which he did as often as possible. He was very proud to be a part of such a big family, both biological and friends and military. Even when things weren't smooth, he was always the one that could get along with everyone. This refined skill of building relationships is what has brought us all here and created such a full room of family and friends. I could go on for hours about his involvement with churches and baseball and family and new adventures and Army excursions, but I won't. I thank all of you for loving my brother in your own way, and for being here and celebrating his life with me and my family.
First of all, I want to thank you, Drew, for your kind words. Kyle really looked up to you. He spoke highly of you, and he really appreciated not only your friendship, but your wise counsel. And Kimberly, thank you. You've done a great job helping get everything set up. You've been amazing. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming here today to help us celebrate, honor, and remember the much too short life of Kyle David Eickholt. I know many of you have traveled a long way to be here, and we appreciate that. Whether you knew him as a son, a brother, a grandson, a husband, a boyfriend, a nephew, an uncle, a cousin, a coworker, a classmate, a teammate, or a Christian brother, or fellow soldier, we all knew him as a friend. Kyle had a vibrant and magnetic personality that you could not easily forget. He was very intelligent, perceptive, and analytical. Several of his buddies that he served with, including Sergeant Major Litchford, are here today. They served in the U.S. Army 501st Infantry Airborne at Fort Richardson in Anchorage, Alaska. I'm sure you have some crazy stories to tell. You served with him in Afghanistan in some very horrific and dangerous situations. Whether it was on the battlefield, playing poker, or drag racing. Together you formed a bond of brotherhood like no other. And now you've made the journey here to bid him farewell. We thank you for your service. And we thank you for serving alongside Kyle and having his 6 while he also had yours. Kyle enjoyed to love life and pursue adventure, and he wasn't afraid to try new things and go in new places. After all, He talked me into jumping out of a perfectly good airplane with him and Kevin, and I'm so glad that he did. He constantly made the effort to reach out to people, and he showed up with a smile on his face and usually a gift in his hand. He was always thinking of others and what they might need or like, especially if he could find it in the clearance aisle. He loved friendly, spirited competition, whether it was playing pool, golfing, bowling, putt-putt golf, playing cards, board games, throwing darts, or our newest game, Bocey ball. He loved to joke around with playful banter, whether he won or lost. And when I would beat him at darts, he was always trying to erase the scoreboard before I could get a picture of it. This is something no parent should have to do. After all, we're supposed to outlive our children, right? One high-risk decision at the wrong time and in a split second, it cost Kyle his life and changed all of ours forever. Every moment of every day, we don't know what's around the corner. Only God knows. And now we need to trust him and his plan and let Kyle's love and Kyle's legacy live on in all of us that knew him. One step at a time and one day at a time. We must move forward and pursue our dreams and our passions with the same drive and enthusiasm that Kyle did. He was looking forward to a bright and promising future, and so were we. It's like God gave him a full lifetime of love and smiles. And somehow Kyle knew that he only had 28 years, 2 months, and 5 days to give them all away. I knew this would be very difficult. Probably the hardest thing I'll do in my entire life. And I certainly hope so. But I wanted to do it to properly honor Kyle. I pray that none of you are ever in this position. I'm thankful that I had the chance to give him the honor and the respect that he so rightly deserves. I'll close with this. If you have children or people close to you that you love, enjoy every moment with them. Hug them. Tell them you love them. Make lots of memories and take a lot of photos. Because you never know. There might be a day when that's all that you have left are the memories you made and the photos you'll treasure. God bless you, Kyle. We love you, and we will always miss you.
Thank you, Drew and Kim and Harold. I think I did find out where Kyle got a lot of his wisdom from. What wise words, Harold. Many of us here today have children, and I hope you listened very carefully to that last part of what Harold said. We live in a day where we've lost that wisdom of knowing that our kids may not always be with us. And there's nothing more important in this life, if you have children, than spending time with your children.
may be seated.